here with Sean from Yellowcard at the House of Blues, and thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it as always.
No problem. Thanks for the time.
Oh, no problem. Well, you're a third of the way through the tour this time around, so how's everything going?
It's going great. I think by the time that we get just about 5 or 6 days into a Yellowcard tour, your voice starts to get like more accustomed to singing, and we're playing about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So about an hour and a half, just maybe a little bit over. So you have to kind of get the rust off and work your body up. You know, it's basically a workout. So, but we're playing a lot of new songs off Southern Air, and the fans are really responding to them. It's like we've been playing the songs for a long time. So, just excited to be out.
Yeah. Well, has there been any memorable moments on this tour? Is there one in particular that stands out?
You know, I think right now, just playing the new songs every night. This is the first opportunity that we've been able to say thank you to our fans in the United States. We worked on the Warped Tour, as you know,
yeah.
And then we released Southern Air in August, and we were out of the country. So this is the first opportunity that we've been able to say thank you to all our fans, like personally, for embracing Southern Air, and you know, we cracked into the top 10 on the Billboard Top 200. Which is really hard for a rock band. There's not a lot of rock bands up there. It's mostly Rihanna and Jay-Z
yeah.
and stuff like that. So, you know, every night, just that moment to you know, see the support and to say thank you, and just remind everyone how grateful we are for having the opportunity to do this.
Oh, that's great.
That's special.
Well, now, I know you have a day off tomorrow, and I heard that you guys are going to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So what are your plans?
Well, Ryan and I, we still have family in Jacksonville, so I'm going to see my mom, my dad, and my grandpa, and we're going to watch some football and hang out with some of our friends. And it's just nice, you know, we work the show for so long, almost 2 hours. It's just nice to relax your body and not sing and not yell and scream at the levels that you need to at a live show. We got 4 in a row coming up, and we got New York and Boston and everything. So we're going to be as respectful of our bodies as possible, but we're going to have fun. I may have some chicken wings. That's probably in the cards.
You mentioned Southern Air and the you know, top 10 on the billboards, which congratulations about that. So
Thank
that's
you very
awesome.
much.
Yeah. Well, what was your reaction when you found out?
I was just shocked. Like, you know, the thing about it is we had sold the least amount of records in 10 years the first week out, and most bands like us were just kind of gauged by the first week. And we sold the least amount of records that we had in a long time, and obviously Spotify and streams and like that, they'll take into consideration. But we charted the highest that we've ever charted in like 8 years, and so it's a gauge on where the music industry is today. It's a good sort of compass to where, you know, we're headed. So when you're through Thinking Say Yes, we came back after 2 years of a break, and I think we're number 7, and our fans were really excited that we had a new record come out. We had 10 new songs, and then, you know, 6 months later we did an acoustic version of that. So just to have, you know, to chart 7 times higher, it shows a little bit of growth, and we've been working really hard. We went to 32 countries last year, and we've gone to about 21 so far this year. So we're working hard, and we have 2 records to kind of tour this year, and hopefully most of 2013 with.
That's great.
Yeah, we're excited.
What is the writing and recording process like for Yellowcard? Like, when you guys get ready to work on an album, I mean, is there a certain kind of step or formula that you guys go, like, okay, this person does the writing, and then, you know, you lay down this track first? Or, I mean, how do the songs come together for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, the physical recording, like when we're in the studio with Neil Avron, you know, we'll do drums, and then we'll lay down some guitar and some synth bass, and then we'll build from there. I mean, the physical part is the same. But when we do a Yellowcard record, we get off tour, everyone kind of has to decompress, and we do that at our own speeds, and then we just kind of reach out to one another. Hey, what do you have? What do you have? So usually about a third of the record is, or, you know, maybe 40% is Ryan Key. He has a skeleton of a song, a solid idea, and we just kind of snowball from there. And then the other 50-60% is usually musical ideas that Ryan Mendez or myself we come up with, or even something that we come up in the band room. That's how Ocean Avenue and Here I Am Alive kind of were conceived. So we have about 3 or 4 different templates of how the Yellowcard songs come together. So, and that's the exciting part, is we kind of know where we can fit in and out. But I love sitting down with, you know, Ryan Key and being like, okay, you're gonna sing here, I'm gonna do a little violin over here, or like LP's like, I'm gonna, you know, take this little moment right here. So that's always fun, and You know, we've been writing songs together for 14 years now, but it's still exciting to come up with new and different ways to use the tried Yellowcard formula. We want to make sure that when we write, we're focused and there's a time and a place for that. And so that's kind of what it was. We took half of January off and we went right into it, and we got with Neil, and I mean, when it was all said and done, I think we finished the record in about 5 weeks.
I read that.
So,
yeah. That's quick. I mean,
it's really quick, and I think right now time is really crazy for you know, for artists. You don't want to be away too long, and the way the market is right now, your fans and your listeners, they're ravenous. They want to have as much new material. I had you know, fans all, hey, when's the next record come out? We're like, so we only had one out, you know, 3 months ago. You know, like that record still, like
right.
So it's a lot goes into it, but you know, people they want more material than ever before.
Well, what was the biggest challenge with Southern Air for you? Was there something where it's just like, oh, I couldn't wait to get through that part because that was just a challenging section or a challenging bit of it?
Yeah, I mean, my health was the most challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been battling some health issues, and it fell right in the middle of recording. So I had surgery in January. We wrote through February, and then I had we recorded, and then I had radiation treatment before we went on tour at the beginning of May. So a lot of things happened, and the way that it fit in the schedule, you know, was by the grace of God. Like all the puzzle pieces fit. I feel healthy now, but after surgery, it was really hard for me to sing. So the way that the guys and Neil and everyone worked together to make sure that I felt comfortable and part of the team and stuff. So that was the most challenging, and it was I know, just to see the way that the other guys in the band kind of reacted and they were supportive and really brought us closer together. I mean, we live very close. We all sleep in bunk beds on the tour bus, whether it's in Europe or over here, and we're all very close. But you know, just for them to rally around me like that, I think it made this record a little bit more special.
Do you have any more treatments remaining, or where are you right now with the whole process?
I'm kind of like in a holding pattern. Mm-hmm. I had some tests done, and it's not determined that I need radiation right now, but I still have the protein marker in my blood, so we just kind of have to see if I'm okay for multiple years and it never resurfaces, or have to figure out if it shows up. So I'm just kind of like every 3 or 6 months we'll have to go back and do more testing, and if something happens, I'll have to accept that challenge at that time.
Right.
So right now I'm just enjoying kind of like feeling somewhat normal and adapting to how my body is, especially on the road. Every day is you know, different. So those challenges are new and sometimes exciting or depressing, but I feel good.
Because how has that affected your daily life? You know, like your everyday, you know, what's different right now? I mean, is it just, you know, you kind of have to listen to your body more as far as, you know, the tiredness, or, you know, are you still having to take a lot of pills? I mean, how has your daily life changed?
Yeah, I mean, I take, you know, a daily synthetic hormone pill to replace the thyroid hormone, that because we took the whole thyroid out. Mm-hmm. We meaning the doctors that I hired and worked with.
You didn't get in there and go, no.
Yeah, help me out.
Yeah.
And then you know, some days I'm tired. So it's really hard for me to like rebound. Like I pulled my back, and I had a calf injury from Warped Tour. Just the heat and everything, and it's lingering, and it's limiting what I can do, whether I'm working out or playing basketball, or even, you know, getting around on stage. So that's really difficult. Or like I'll go and work out, and the next day I'll just be wiped out from energy. So it's really hard to like rebound and rejuvenate, I guess, tissue and something like that. So I have to figure out a way to balance and make sure that I can stay fit and healthy and strong and still have full energy to do the things that I have to do while on tour with Yellowcard.
The most challenging part about the whole, you know, thyroid cancer experience so far, what was the most challenging thing for you?
The radiation was intensely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just one of those miracle drugs that, you know, we have the science and the knowledge to be able to focus certain resources for us all to get healthy. And a lot of people have way worse treatment. I understand that, but for, you know, a week straight, it was just intense, you know, like burning uncomfortableness. So
Was
and,
it like
and that was
was
it.
the burning kind of like? Did it feel like it was like in your like
Yeah, it's
under
an
your
ingest.
skin kind of
It's
thing?
an ingested pill because your thyroid cells are in your blood and they go everywhere.
So yeah, so did
So
you just feel burning all
it was pretty
over?
bad. Yeah.
Wow. Oh wow. Well, hey, I just give you kudos for going through Warped Tour. You know, I mean, which is a grueling. It's a grueling festival. You know, schedule for the most healthy, the healthiest
Yeah.
person on there. So the fact that you did it under the circumstances, I mean, everybody should just have been like, whoa, that's amazing.
It was fun. It was great kind of experiment. We only played 30 minutes a day, and I was able to do the other things. But my body's even changed since then. So
Yeah.
it's fun to try and stay on top of that.
Yeah, and you said you feel stronger now than you did on Warped Tour. Is that would you say that? I mean,
I think vocally I'm stronger and I'm like a little bit more used to what I'm going to go through. But I still have some lingering ailments like like some leg issues and stuff like that. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to get past that.
it was kind of ironic because when I was doing all the questions yesterday, actually just yesterday, Brooke Burke, the girl that does Dancing with the Stars and everything, she just announced that she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer as well. And so I was like, well, you know what? Perfect question to ask is, what advice would you give her and anybody else that's going through or about to, go through thyroid cancer and everything? I mean, what would you tell her? What kind of advice would you give her?
I mean, a person like that, she's everywhere. She's gonna have, so much support. But like, just the positivity of it. And I'm not one that kind of lingers on the negative effects of life. I mean, if you look anywhere, there's always, lightness or darkness, and I just kind of always gravitate towards the light. And from what I can tell in pictures, and when she's on TV, she looks like a bright, happy person. So I'm sure that she'll get through this, and she has every available resource to her. So I just wish her the best, and or anyone that's going through something like an illness. So I wish them all the best.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned kind of going towards the positivity. Was there something positive, like one positive thing that did come out of this whole, situation, for you? I mean, is there one thing that you can think of that's like, okay, well, I went through it, but you know what? If I hadn't gone through it, this would not have happened, and it's a positive thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think our record Southern Era was that the way that we. I mean, of course, like my family and just the support from the fans, that was overwhelming. But just the way that our musical family rallied kind of around me, and it was right at the time where we did Southern Era, just to have that as a landmark or a part of the Yellowcard timeline. And how special that record is for us. I think that's pretty awesome to have kind of in my back pocket.
Yeah, and it sounds, like I said, it does sound great.
Thank you very much.
It's a wonderful sounding record. Let's talk about the violin. I'll talk about that for a little bit. You gave lessons during Warped Tour. How did that whole thing, like when you were giving lessons, did you have like beginners and different levels of people, or how was the typical lesson for you?
Majority of the lessons, I would say, like, were people that had some type of musical interest. They played guitar or bass or sang a little bit, and they saw the way that I performed with Yellowcard, and they basically said, I want to do that. And it was so flattering. But most of the lessons, I mean, I know growing up was very expensive for me to get private lessons, but they were like half hour or an hour. So it's very hard to teach a lot of technique through a first experience like that. It's a muscle memory. It's a a learned thing, unless of course you're a prodigy, which I am not. So it was, yeah. So most of the time it was this is how you hold it. This is kind of what we're going for. This is how you hold the bow, and those basic sort of techniques like that. And occasionally I did have sort of a couple of lessons where there were more proficient players. They'd played for a few years, and we were able to go, okay, well, this is what you do in your orchestra in your class, and this is how I adapted it to what I do. So you can show that change, and I think Band Happy did a great job reaching out to a lot of different artists, and from what I can tell, people were really happy with that.
Yeah, because how long were the lessons on Warped Tour?
I taught lessons almost every other day, so probably half, and they were on the whole tour.
Okay, so half an hour at a time. So when a person signed up, they got a half an hour lesson?
Yeah, and then most of like the drummers and the guitar players, they could do like a full clinic, but I chose to do only one-on-ones.
It makes sense.
So especially like with the different levels. So there were days where I had 4 lessons, and so I was there for like 3 hours doing lessons back to back. So it was a great experience, and hopefully the young students out there enjoyed that.
So I think when I was at the end of the interview that I did with you at Warped Tour, I think you'd mentioned that there were some people on the tour, if I'm not mistaken, that were like other musicians or whatever that wanted to take lessons from you. I believe you.
Yeah, I did.
That.
I gave a lesson to the pit reporter, Amy. She had played before, and then we had worked out a lesson together. That was really fun. And then actually Tay from We Are the In Crowd, we didn't get a lesson together, but she played violin growing up too.
Oh,
so
nice.
She came out to our video when we were filming Here I Am Alive, and she was playing the violin. She's like, "Oh, I remember this little Irish dance or whatever." It was great. She's super talented.
What advice do you have for someone who's just starting to learn violin? What tips would you give somebody?
I mean, the beginner just really needs to just play and get through, the 10,000 hours it takes to get those muscles in your body accustomed to feeling natural with the violin. It's a very unusual instrument. It's very difficult to have it feel comfortable on you. And so once you get those techniques down, after that, it's super fun. And I mean, I remember growing up, and I'm a guy just like the next guy. I love football and basketball and everything, but it was very difficult for me to get along in school because people were just like, kids are mean, you're doing something different, of course you're going to get alienated for that. But just stick with it. I mean, it's a great instrument, and it's the leader of the orchestra, so
that's true.
At least you can rest your hat on that.
How many violins do you have on tour with you?
I have 3. I have 1 acoustic from Eastman Strings, and they're our violin sponsor, and they do great work for all education levels. They have everything from tuba to upright bass, and they have beginner instruments all the way to advanced college students. So they got behind us in Band Happy this summer, and just a great product. They have guitars as well, and they're distributing Bridge electric violin. So I have 2 electric violins, and then I have 1 acoustic violin. And the pickup's great. It's LR Bags, and it's sort of a staple in the country music, the Nashville staple. For the fiddlers, it has a little bit of cut, but it's mostly like the warmth and it's captured. And after touring for 10 years, they jumped in with us in about 2008, and I haven't looked back. It's the best acoustic live sound that we've found.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's an industry secret. You're welcome.
Plans after this tour? When I guess it wraps up at the beginning of December.
Beginning of December, and we're lucky we get to spend a little bit of time at home with the families and the loved ones for the holidays. And just at the beginning of the year, we are booked solid all the way through May already, and we have some exciting tricks up our sleeves for our fans. So keep your ear to the ground for Yellowcard news next year, nice, 2013.
Nice. And lastly, what message do you have for the Yellowcard fans?
Thank you. We love you. Go buy Southern Air or listen to it really loud. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No
As
problem.
always, I always appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And I will see you out there.